Could Donald Trump use August and the recess scheduled for the Senate to shove down our throats without Senate confirmation a whole series of U.S. attorneys, even judges, cabinet heads, agency heads, and buy about a year and a half worth of time, starting with Alina Habba, Emil Bove for the Third Circuit Court of Appeals? Can Donald Trump use the presidential power to make what's called presidential commissions to keep these people in office during a recess in the Senate, including federal judges? Yes, he can. Will the Supreme Court stop him from doing it? I doubt it. Let's take a closer look at what, it's not like he's likely to do it. It's not like I fear he's going to do this. The next big recess of more than 10 days, which is what the Supreme Court requires for the length, at least, of a recess appointment, is coming up in August. And Donald Trump has in his pipeline about 23 agency heads, acting heads of agencies and departments, federal judges, U.S. attorneys, you name it, that are in the pipeline. All he's got to do is claim under Article 2 powers, which he's been doing and the Supreme Court has been supporting, is say, well, I need these people and I can't wait around for them to get back from their recess from their recess. So I'm just going to name all these people, give them a commission, which is what it's called, and let them serve in their positions for a year and a half without accountability. Now, the way that we respond to that is making him politically accountable, making him politically vulnerable, and wasting political capital that we exploit. But let's look at the process. Under Article 2, Section 2, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution, the president can fill vacancies during a Senate recess by granting commissions. Supreme Court precedent from 2014 says as long as the recess is 10 days or more, president can use that power. That was a case called National Labor Relations Board versus Canning, the Canning precedent. And there's just happens to be in August, right around the corner, next month, a scheduled recess of longer than 10 days. And look, we talked about this possibility when Trump swept into power with the House and the Senate. That John Thune, the Speaker of the House, if Donald Trump couldn't get like Matt Gaetz through or the rest of his cabinet, he was going to try recess appointing them in for a year and a half by having Thune bend over and look the other way and take a recess appointment. In other words, take a recess and allow for the appointment. So who's up for grabs? Who's Donald Trump looking at in terms of clearing out his pipeline during a recess? Alina Habba, U.S. Attorney for New Jersey. See, and originally she was going to leave after 120 days as the acting interim. But I think now they figured out that she can be recess appointed through commission in and buy another year and a half and then see what happens at the midterm elections. And if the Senate stays in the control of the Republicans, which is a possibility, I think the House is going to go blue. Senate could go blue too. We got to work hard. But if it does, he's just going to buy more time. And she gets to serve in that role, politicizing and weaponizing the Department of Justice in the meantime. The special counsel that he just appointed, that's the canary in the coal mine for me. That's the very reason I think they're planning a recess appointment bonanza. The what just happened during the budget bill, has gotten them cocky, has gotten them power mad. And so they just appointed to the position that requires independence and legal acumen a lawyer who's been a lawyer for 1 year and is a Holocaust denier, 9/11 denier, white nationalist who went after Nikki Haley and called her a B word and said she couldn't be president because her parents were born in India, who says and promotes that only white straight men should be getting all the federal benefits and training, who pals around with Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, who claims that 9/11 was an inside job, who promotes Alex Jones's theories, his depraved, libelous and blood libelous comments that Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre was a false flag event. This is the guy, Paul Ingrassia, that Donald Trump wants to head the Office of Special Counsel, who is responsible for being the ombudsperson and watchdog and allow whistleblowers to make whistleblower complaints without fear of retribution. Do you think that's going to happen? So what's up Donald Trump's sleeve? Obviously, a recess appointment of Paul Ingrassia to buy him a year and a half without Senate confirmation. Here's the other people. Just besides that, you've got, I'm just going to give you the list so far of who's up for grabs. You have the acting that have not been confirmed by the Senate is the Secretary of Agriculture, the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of the Army, the Secretary of the Navy. You've got the Secretary of Labor, the Justice Department. You've got Emil Bove, who has not been confirmed in his position, while he's up for the Third Circuit Court of Appeals position. You've got a whole series, about a dozen, of U.S. attorneys, including Alina Habba. And let's look at Emil Bove. That's another signal to me that Trump is considering recess appointment, because he's hitting turbulence in his confirmation hearing, because he's obscenely unqualified for the position to be a lifetime appointed federal judge. Emil Bove, the criminal defense lawyer for Donald Trump, the one who weaponized the Department of Justice, went after FBI agents who worked and U.S. attorneys who worked on Jan 6 cases in order to drum them out, in order to force them out. Forced out an entire office, the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York, quit over Emil Bove and how he brought a considerable amount of retaliation against Eric Adams, the mayor, in order to get him to play ball, threatening him with his indictment if he didn't play ball on immigration. I mean, this guy is unqualified. Has a federal judge ever been given a commission for a year and a half recess appointment? No. But does anybody think Donald Trump cares about precedent? So he gives Emil Bove the job. He serves as a judicial appointee. He gets to be a judge. He hears cases. He issues rulings. He's an Article III judge. He just doesn't have lifetime appointment because he hasn't been confirmed. And I think Donald Trump will do it and then challenge the United States Supreme Court to tell him to stop. So I want to focus on this hot take on recess appointments. What can we do about it? Donald Trump can try this. He can try, the first time in history, to get a federal judge a year and a half position tryout. Get Alina Habba shoved down our throat. Get Paul Ingrassia with the Office of Special Counsel shoved down our throat. And then we've got to use it against them and turn the tables and make this make him expend political capital. Now, look, we see the polling. Donald Trump lives in a hermetically sealed world of MAGA sycophants, right? Who all they care about is having Donald Trump go down the checklist of right-wing MAGA, Heritage Foundation, Federalist Society, Project 2025, policy decisions. That's all. That's why he just wrecked Medicare, Medicaid, $1 trillion deducted from Medicare and Medicaid. Nobody said anything except the voters. Removed from Social Security, removed from food stamps, 11 million people thrown off the insurance rolls. What is the polling saying? Polling saying that that American people hate the bill, that hate the budget bill. Only 30% support it. A majority of people no longer want to be identified or are proud to be Americans. It doesn't mean they're not patriots. It just means they're not proud to be Americans under this president. So he's suffering at the polls, Trump. So we need to continue to make him pay. And when he does these recess appointments, and I'd be shocked if he doesn't do some combination of the people that I just laid out, then what do? We work hard, right? We're already up less than a year and a half away for the midterm elections. Return the House and the Senate to the Democrats, return and restore checks and balances, allow the Democrats to run the House, to open up investigations as necessary. When you hear what this Trump administration has done from the investigations that will be conducted by the House, he will never, and the party will be done as we know it. In addition, articles of impeachment. There's about a dozen or so already that I can think of off the top of my head that should be drafted against Donald Trump and drawn up. So we'll continue to follow it all right here. Watch recess appointment in August as we get closer. I'll talk to you more about it. But I think I've spotted exactly what they're going to do. And I wanted to report it to you here on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Come over to Legal AF, the Substack, Legal AF, the YouTube channel on the Midas Touch Network. We just hit the top 22 of all podcasts, all in the United States, and #1 law and politics podcast on YouTube rankings. That's with your help. Come here. This is a fellowship. We're working together. We vibrate on the same frequency. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.